Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This time out, we're going to take a look and listen to another 500 series module EQ. This time we're going to listen to the Capi LC25, which is a clone or a reproduction or an emulation or whatever you want to call it of the API 560. Now the difference between the 560 and the LC25 from a physical point of view is the API has the sliders, the Capi has the little knobs, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. Anyway, they sound great. We're going to listen to it on, I don't know, some acoustic guitar, some electric guitar, maybe some piano, so you guys can check it out. And you can let me know what you think in the comments below. But before we get started, this is not a sponsored video. I bought these pair of Capis with my own money on Reverb for roughly around 600 bucks each, 1,200 for the pair, probably 6 or 7 months ago. And I use them all the time and I love them. They sound way different than the SSL. So not a sponsored video. We are going to be listening to pieces of music from the country artist Lori Kole. Thank you so much, Lori, for allowing us to use your session in this video. Make sure you check out her links in the description box below. She's a wonderful singer-songwriter, country artist. We've had music on the channel from her before. We're going to have more music from her in the future. And one of her songs is going to be coming up in the hybrid mixing course, hybrid mixing country, coming out in the summer of 2024. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel about that so you can get a full mixing course on how we mix one of Lori's songs. So thank you so much, Lori. Love her. Here we go. So we got a session that I threw up on the console here. This is her song Bare Feet and Butterflies. Not been mixed. Just threw up the faders. A little bit of panning. No EQ, no compression, nada, zero. So you guys will hear the raw tracks with the Capi EQ. Now, let's get a little listen to maybe the verse and chorus, first verse, first chorus, so you know what we're dealing with. Threw a little bit of reverb on Lori's voice, and that is it. This is a completely raw track, and it almost sounds finished when you just push up the faders. That's what I love about working with artists such as Lori. Fantastic band, fantastic songwriting, fantastic production, makes our job a lot easier. So here's a little sample of Bare Feet and Butterflies by Lori Kole. Make sure you're checking out our links in the description below, and then we'll get to the Capi LC25. Here we go.
It's summertime and there's tiger lilies waking up on the side of the road. I've been chasing my tail way too long, and it's time that I go home. I gotta water my roots and fill my boots with memories and good old friends. Going home is like a kind of therapy, the only place where I'm gonna find me is down at the end of a dirt road. I never left 'cause I never really let go. Still the carefree, innocent girl. This little farm was her whole wide world. I don't wear hand-me-downs and I don't chew crabgrass. A lot of things have gone in my past. Truth is deep down inside, I'm still all about bare feet and butterflies.
Don't you wish as mixing engineers you always get sessions like that by great artists like Lori? Makes our job a lot easier. Sounds great. There's nothing done to this. So we're going to patch him in the Capi LC25 on an electric guitar here, because that's where originally when I bought these things, I really wanted it for electric guitar, and I use them all the time on electric guitar. I have two of them, so I'll split them up or I'll use them on a pair. They're still different from the SSLs. It's that nice extra flavor. So give me a second here. Well, I think I already got patched in. I got it patched in here on some electric guitars. Let's listen to what this sounds like on some electric, shall we? And you can let me know in the comments below what you think of these LC25s. Here we go. I love them on electric guitars. And again, I know we're doing this in solo because I really want you to hear what these Capis can do. They sound so API, it's not even funny. I have the 5500 stereo API EQ. So I can tell you that these sound dead on to an API sound. They're all stepped, which is really nice for recall. Again, the only thing I don't like about this is I don't like the little knobs. You can see in there, you can see the frequency and then an arrow pointing towards the knob that you need to turn, and it's a little tight to get in there. But the thing about these Capi EQs is, man, you only got to go in 2 dB increments, a couple of clicks, and all of a sudden it opens up guitars wide open. It doesn't take a lot to boost, but they don't ever get shrilly, and that's one of the things I like about API on electric guitars, especially kind of clean, little bit of breakup, but not real heavy distortion, is that with plugins, especially when you boost that top end, it really gets ice picky in the ears. These Capis don't get that way. So I use them on electric guitar all the time. So let me know in the comments what you think. Next up, let's try, now that we did electrics, let's try acoustics. So give me 1 second. I will patch this in on a strummed acoustic guitar, and we'll take a listen to these and you can let me know what you think of those. Be right back. Okay, we're back. So we got it patched in on the chorus section of this song by Lori Kole, Bare Feet and Butterflies. On the chorus, strummed acoustic. Let's see what it sounds like. Here we go. Love it on acoustics too. I will occasionally use it on acoustic guitar as well. Again, you can boost the top end. Again, a little dab will do you. 2 dB, 4 dB, 12K, 8K, 10K, 6K, and all of a sudden you got a guitar that just opens up really nice in the mix. Really, really cool. These are great. I mean, again, if you wanted to buy the API 560, I think brand new, those run around $1,000, maybe 1,100 bucks. These are half that. Well, I bought them used, so they're probably a little more than that new, but they're definitely not more than 700 or 800 bucks. I bought them used for $600 a pair. Oh man, if you're into API, I highly recommend. It's a great value. They sound great. So that's acoustic. Let's try it on something a little bit more. You know, let's try it on a kick drum. I've never tried it on a kick. Actually, that's not true. The API 5500 stereo, I got that on my drum bus, and I'll always be boosting that 50 hertz. Let's do that, because I can tell you right away whether it sounds like that API or not, because that 50 hertz gives you a nice point, nice toughness to it. Let's try that. Give me a second to patch it into a kick drum, and we'll take a listen to it on kick. Okay, so now we're patched in on a kick drum. So just so you know, we have 3 kick drums tracks in the box that is being blended together with no EQ, no compression. We have a kick in, kick out, kick sample, all coming down to one fader that I would normally dial in here on the console, but it's going straight to the Capi. So let's take a listen to that. We'll see how these 3 kick drum tracks kind of blend together, and let's see if it sounds like the API 5500 in that low end. Let's take a listen. Here we go. Yeah, and I exaggerated. What I like about the Capi, which is not on the 5500, is you have that 25 hertz. The lowest, I believe it goes on the 5500, if I'm not mistaken, is 50. I think that's right. So adding a little bit of 25, even though there's not a lot going on down there, if you have a sub mic like I have, a sub kick, that can help bring out a lot of low end. So it's exaggerated, but what I like about the API on kick and why I bought the 5500 from my drum bus originally was it doesn't get farty. It just gets nice and tough and really aggressive. The SSL EQ on the console, when you boost that 50, 60 hertz and you get a little bit too aggressive with it, it gets kind of farty and it farts out. It doesn't have that toughness that API has, at least in my experience. So I love it on kick. It sounds really great on kick. Okay, last thing, let's check it out on, let's check it out on bass, because a few weeks ago, I'll link it in the description box. I talked about how we used the Pultec 500X, and I love it on bass, and we demoed it on a bunch of things, but bass is one of my favorite things it's on. I like to put that API on there, kind of in my mind, compare it to bass. So let's patch it into the bass, and I'll be back in a second, and we'll see how it handles a bass guitar. Be right back. Okay, we're patched in on bass. Again, no compression, no EQ, no nothing. Let's see what those Capis do to our bass guitar. Here we go. Yes, and I know that is way too much low end in that bass, especially if you're going to put it in the mix. It would completely clash with the kick drum. But what I was trying to test out there, which again, much like on the kick, on the low ends, when you boost the low end, it never farts out and gets kind of flubby. It still stays tight and focused to me. When you exaggerate the low end, which is great. It sounds really good on bass, as a matter of fact. I'm a little surprised by that. Normally I'm going to the Pultec. This has a little bit more flexibility than the Pultec, but the Pultec has that really cool kind of boost cut thing in the low end, which can really tighten and focus a bass too. So I guess it depends on the program material, but that is a listen to the Capi EQs, the LC25s, which is the 560 clone, if you will, of the API. Again, if you could get those used on Reverb for $600-700, I think those are really good. And again, they sound so much different than the SSL. Where the SSL sounds great is on the upper mids and the top end, it's kind of smooth. The low end in the SSL EQ is not my favorite. I mean, very gentle amount of low end, great. If you have to exaggerate low end or you want something really tough and aggressive, again, the SSL always sounds a little farty to me on the low end. So having some outboard EQs by like API, by Pultec, by Neve that we did last week, and Trident, those tend to have, at least for me, a little bit more of a well-defined low end that doesn't get too farty. And then I leave all the top end sparkly smooth stuff to the SSL. So let me know what you think in the comments below about the Capi. Let me know if you guys have ever used their stuff and what do you like by them, or if you ever compared it to API, what do you think? And again, thank you so much, Lori Kole, for allowing us to use your song in this demonstration. Again, make sure you check her out. Links are in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, because you're going to have to learn all about the Mixing Hybrid Country course coming out this summer. Again, there's already 2 hybrid mixing courses on the website. Links will be in the description box below. Check those out. And until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'll see you guys in the next video.